Didn't actually expect to get the sled in. I was gonna backpack in, but there's enough snow, so what the heck. Gives me a chance to bring the saw and the axe. The pack's about 46 pounds, a little over 21 kilograms. So it's feasible, but a little heavier than I like. So the sled really gives me a chance to pull it in a lot more easily than I had planned. Alright, it's a good spot. And it fits, therefore the tent will fit. Alright, I've got a new tent for this trip. Looking forward to trying it out. I've only set it up once in the house so far, and I'm going to set it up a little bit differently this time. So it may not go the smoothest in the world. But I'm looking forward to showing you this tent. So I almost got it the first time. I need to get this a little closer to the tree so I can slide the whole tent down a little bit closer this way. It's right up against the tree over there, but pretty close. So I'm going to do a slight readjustment. Not bad for my first time. I've got my new Onewind Penumbra tent here. I've got the ridge line running through the inside and then used Pro-6 on either end to keep the thing taut. Now it's time to stake it out. It's only my second time pitching this tent, but the first time I used it, I loved it. The first step is to take the two door ties, and they're going to be staked out where these stakes naturally lay. We're going to pull it back and stake it right there. I've got to lower this. I've got it about 2 inches too tall. After staking your doors, we'll take these four corners and pull them out in line with the doors, and that'll give us the rectangular footprint. Once we have the rectangular base set out, then we can go about adjusting it. For instance, my door's a little floppy. That just means the door needs to be pulled backwards just a little bit. And then what really gives it the shape is pulling out these guy lines. The side near the tent stove is obviously the most critical, so we're going to use a pretty long wooden stake rather than the little aluminum ones for these couple guy lines by the tent stove. All right, repeat on both sides, then we'll be pretty much done. Hit like and subscribe, and click all notifications if you'd like to be notified when a new video releases. It really helps small channels tremendously. All of my gear can be found in the video description box. Click there to find links to all the gear that you see in this video. While I was getting this ready, I heard a heck of a noise. Looked out, there's turkeys roosting outside. I'll put a picture up here. It's not going to be very good, but first time I've seen that. So let's talk about how I slept last night. Typically stayed around 65 to 70 degrees, around 18 to 20 C or so. Low was maybe 55. It stayed pretty darn warm. There was no breeze, so that helped. Outside was just about freezing. But with the mat and the sleeping bag, I slept more than warm. The stove, this wood must not be very dry. It's definitely not drafting very well, but even so, the wood lasted probably about 4 hours, and then I just kind of put my shoes on, rolled over, put the new load of wood in, and fell asleep. So I just woke up once through the night, or at least to load wood. Slept pretty well. This thing's very roomy. I mean, I can almost stretch out all the way. My feet aren't even touching the tent. I think you could fit probably 3 people in here on the ground. Maybe one in a hammock and one on the ground would work well too. Overall, I'm really liking this tent. Every seam is sealed. It feels very durable. The hanging tabs, quite durable. I had a Luke's Octopeak that I had before I started making videos. The hanging tab for it just felt weak. It felt like it was going to rip, and it felt like it would rip the tent. I don't get that from this or my Seek Outside tent. So they both feel very good. What I wish it would have, I wish it had a stove jack on the other side, because it actually came with a clear window, so it'd be nice to be able to see outside or to put the stove on either side. I hung the tent the wrong direction, and so I should actually have the stove on that side to blow sparks away. I wasn't too worried because I've got the baffle in this time. I wish that the zippers were separating so you could hang the ridge line and then put the tent on it. You can't do that if you want the ridge line on the inside, which I do, so I can hang lights and battery packs and stuff like that. But if you don't need the ridge line on the inside, then you just hang it on the outside. It's not such a big deal. Let's see what else. I have a number of suggestions that I sent to the company, but those are a couple of my big ones. Overall, though, I really like it. I wish they made an ultralight version. I seriously considered getting their ultralight tent version and then just adding my own stove jack. But I thought I'd at least give this a try to see if I liked the format, because this was a little bit cheaper. Code HANDFUL, all caps. That'll get you 5% off, and then you won't have to sign up for their mailing lists to get the 5% off. I think I get a credit too. So if you end up wanting it, it's onewindoutdoors.com. It's the Onewind Penumbra. Too hot. Gotta let that cool. may be wondering why I'm going to boil that water I just filtered. But that filter got left out in my food bag in winter one time when it got below freezing. So it was right at freezing. Probably not safe to count on it anymore. So I filter for taste, and then I boil for safety. Man, it's hot. I think part of it is the sun on this dark fabric. Since the sun is out today, I think that's part of the heat. And I think this wood, I think, is better dry than this stuff is. All right, time to have a late lunch. It's about 2 o'clock. I normally don't get hungry for all 3 meals. It's about 45 Fahrenheit. Not exactly t-shirt weather, but with the stove going, had to open up the doors. So, we're going to have some cheesesteaks. I have some tortilla wraps here, and then I've got the cheesesteak meat. It's normally supposed to be frozen, but it's been cold, so it's still good. And then I got some cheese in here, that similar cheese cubes. So, let's have some cheesesteaks for lunch. Should cook pretty quick. It's pretty thin. Not much heat comes off the bottom of the stove, so I'm going to just melt the cheese directly in the pan. Boy, that was good. So good, I think I'm going to go ahead and cook the second one now. Time to sort out the firewood and see if I need to collect more for tonight. That should be good. A couple need to be split, but that should last. So it actually stacked up the wood. I wish I had a few more logs. There's one more log on that tree I cut down originally. That was already down. And then, watch this. I'll just pull some firewood out of the ground. Snow's not that deep. It's just been driven into the ground. The area I'm in is kind of a peninsula of dry land. Here's some of the wetlands. Some good firewood. The tree's probably 16 inches at the base. In wetlands, you get a lot of these trees that are standing dead or that fall over. At least I know where I'm coming tomorrow morning if I need more firewood. So I actually recognize this bend in the river, and then right over there there's a ridge that goes up. So right behind me actually is where I was camping last spring, and that marshy area is where I went through the ice. You may be able to hear that it started raining. It's not going to get below freezing tonight, unfortunately, and today's warmth melted off the snow. So I'm going to have to probably leave pretty early in the morning just to be able to get the sled back out. I do not want to carry that thing back to the car. So just going to be a quick, easy breakfast of oatmeal tomorrow. But for tonight, I think I'm going to call it a wrap. Got this video about half edited already. All right. It's time to call it a night. Morning. Slept pretty well last night. Boy, it's really nice to be able to just roll over and throw a couple sticks in the fire without leaving the tent. That battery bank's a pain. It was about 60 degrees when I woke up this morning. I never fully zipped up the sleeping bag or put my sweatshirt on. I just rolled over, threw a couple of logs in, waited till it got warm. It's plenty warm now. Gonna get the show on the road so I can get this sled out of here. It's supposed to get up above freezing, several degrees above freezing by like 9 a.m. So gonna have to get moving. It did get down to freezing right now, so that should help me sled out a little bit. It's gonna be a bit dark. That battery bank died and this one's about to die. I'll use my headlamp for a spotlight here in a little bit.